Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech protected.
Good morning, Rockingham. It's Mike and Fred this morning, and we have Marty on the remote, but this is the feed. We're here, it's February 10th, 2021, 4 days before Valentine's Day, the perfect time that if you were looking for a Valentine's present for your sweetie, you might be able to score a rock.
Absolutely.
Yeah, anyway, but first we're going to start with Marty and local events. Marty's coming to us from her secure bunker across the parking lot. Hi, Marty.
Hey, how are you? That was a great shameless plug for to lead into Fred Rocks. Rocks, Valentine's Day, perfect. It was perfect. So I have a couple of things to remind people about. One of the biggest ones is because it is the 10th of February, that means taxes are due. So Rockingham town taxes are due today for all you people. I'm sure everyone's been looking forward to that. I also want to remind everybody that this is the last few days that you can purchase a ticket for the Friends of the Library raffle. They will draw the winner on this Friday The top prize is $1,000. There's a $500 prize and two prizes in the amount of $250. You can still get tickets online at rockinghamlibrary.org. You can get them in person at the Village Square Booksellers, or you can get them delivered curbside. If you call the library, they'll bring the ticket right out to you curbside. So I'm hoping everyone will support the library and they will sell out on their tickets, and it will be a good fundraiser for them and all the work that they do. Mike and I are putting together, in conjunction with Fact TV, we're going to be doing on February 25th a candidates forum. There's 7 candidates that are currently running for 3 select board seats. And we've decided it would be a great idea with COVID and people not being able to meet in person to do a candidates forum. It'll be on February 25th. We'll start at 6 p.m. It'll be in the lower theater in the town hall. It'll be broadcast on Fact TV live, and then it will also be rebroadcast. So if you miss the actual live event, you can watch the rebroadcast. We are asking the community, if you have questions that you would like to ask the candidates, specific questions, then please email them before that date, so before the 25th, to alex@fact8.com. Mike, you want to say anything more about the forum?
No, but I think I guess I do. It's a great opportunity for people to meet and see the candidates, because like Marty said, it's not something that people can get out and do door to door or any kind of meet and greets out in the community right now. So this is your opportunity to see who is running and figure out what they're standing for. The other thing is we're going to do individual interviews with some of the candidates, and we're inviting all of the candidates to do them. Some candidates have accepted the invitation and scheduled times. We've actually recorded an interview with Bonnie North yesterday. We're going to be broadcasting them on Fact TV up until the election. Again, we would like to invite all of the candidates, anyone running, to contact either Fact 8, or I sent everyone an email. You can contact me and we can schedule times to do an interview that will be then broadcast. And I think it's a good way for people to get to know people. And we're coming up to a select meeting, and it's actually a pretty big turnover because a lot of people aren't running again. So it's an opportunity for maybe change in the town. We don't know, but just tune in to Fact TV. So, but moving on, we're going to talk with Fred at Fred Rocks. First of all, I want to tell we met Fred through the River Valley Artisans Co-op. They have a shop downtown, and I'm not sure. Do you know how many artisans are actually involved?
I don't. There's about 24 artisans.
Yeah. So. Right next to Village Square Booksellers is the River Valley Artisans Co-op storefront, and we did a little I guess, a little thing, a shop local thing before Christmas. And one of the things that was really interesting is that you go in there and there are so many things that it's not a 5-minute, well, here's what it is sort of thing. Right. So what we decided to do is do some little more detailed reporting or detailed interviews with the people that work there, because there are local artisans. There are people that live just around the corner, and so fortunately or unfortunately for Fred, he got to be the first person, and I think he may be a little nervous, but he's working his way through it. So Fred, tell us about yourself and how you. First of all, about how did you and River Valley Artisans.
River Artisans Cooperative. There we go. Hey.
There we go.
Well, how it all started was probably 3 years ago. I also do wrought iron blacksmithing work, and I had a coat rack that I'd made a bunch, and I was trying to sell, so I took them to the Wyndham Antique Center to see if they would put one out there. And they said, well, we just deal with the antiques, but there's River Artisans Cooperative right across the street. So I went over that day, and I had my coat rack with me, and I filled out the paperwork and the forms, and they juried my items and allowed me to display my items there. So
yeah.
that was about 3 years ago.
And just as you said that, I realized that your stuff is still there, and we featured your stuff at Christmas, because it's the coat racks and the hooks and everything are still there.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, you are multi-talented.
Yeah, that's where the joke man comes in. It's
really?
Jack of all trades, master of none. So it's kind of fitting.
I was seriously wondering what that was. I was trying to figure it out from your email, and I was like, what could it possibly be? That's funny.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, a lot of people. Fact. Yeah. A lot of people say joke.
Yeah, what is that?
What is that? And then it's like, oh, okay.
Jack of all.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the rocks. I've been doing the rock thing for probably 7 years. I joined the Keene Mineral Club, and how that originated was a friend of mine showed me some of the stuff that he got, and I was kind of interested in it because I've been interested in rocks for a long time. And he took me to his secret spot and found some really nice stuff. And the thing I noticed was that when the rocks were wet, they looked beautiful, and as soon as they dried out, they lost their luster and their color. So then, well, how do you keep that color? It's like, well, you need to polish it. So it was a long process, and we started using some hand tools and whatnot. And
you really?
Yeah, it didn't work out that well. So that Christmas, my family got me a polishing machine. It's called a Cab King, and it has 6 wheels on it for grinding and shaping, and then polishing through the different grits. It's kind of like sandpaper. You take a coarse sandpaper, and then you work through it till the finer to get a nice polish. And that's how that all started. And the tumbling aspect is very similar. You start out with a grinding grit and then finish with a fine aluminum oxide. And it started with 1 tumbler and then 2 tumblers, and now I'm up to 9, and I think
9 tumblers.
Yeah, 9
now?
tumblers. Yeah, 1.
And for an illustration, we're going to go. Fred invited us down to his studio one day. We went to the studio, and then he showed us the operation of the tumbling operation. So we have a short video that we'd like to go to, just so people know what we're talking about right now. So can we go to clip? that's pretty amazing. So I was sort of serious when people think I was kidding that you could actually go there and get something for Valentine's Day, but
Absolutely.
oh, just beautiful stuff. And I don't think you can. I think the video pulls that out a lot. That it's sort of like, oh, really? What's it going to be like? And then it's like, wow, this is really amazing.
Yeah.
So, I guess a little bit. I guess we talked a little bit about what got you going, but where do you get your rocks then?
Well, some of them I do find in Vermont at a secret location that I can't let anyone know. But mainly I buy it in bulk. There's a few places in the United States. There's one in Idaho and one down in Arizona that they sell rough material that's mined around the world. So a lot of it comes from Madagascar, Brazil, South Africa, and there's even some material I get from Arizona and Idaho. So there's all around the country.
Mm-hmm. But it all comes rough. It all comes, and you have to do so it's a bit of a gamble when you sort of know what it's going to look like, but you don't.
You don't. That's the great part about it. You get rough material, and it really looks, it's all jagged and dull, and you don't know what you have, and you throw it in the tumbler, and you open it up a week or 10 days later and see what you have. And sometimes it takes a couple weeks before it gets to the point where it's nice and round and ready to move on to the next stage. But that's like Christmas every 10 days because you get to open it up and see what's there. But there's been early on in my tumbling career, I guess, because I've been doing this for about 3.5 years. I was buying it off of eBay, and it was in 1 pound lots, and it was pretty expensive to buy like that. And sometimes, I'm no geologist, so I don't know what I'm trusting what I'm buying is they label it as something, and that's what I'm getting. And there's many different places to buy it and a lot of different qualities to buy. So
you have to be careful.
Yeah, just like with anything.
Marty, any questions?
Yeah, I do. Is there a certain, and pardon my naivete, is there a certain art to knowing how to, so you get it in a big lump and then you have to make it into smaller rocks, correct? Is there an art as to how you cut it? Like when you're, like with diamonds, there's an art to diamonds and to get the best of that material?
Well, in the rough material that I buy usually comes as tumbling rough, and it's already broken up into you can get it by 3/4 of an inch to 1.5 inches in size, and then, or you can get larger pieces too. So, and you can break them up. I have some pieces that are, 5 or 10 pounds that I wrap in rags and hit with a hammer to get it so it fits in the tumbler.
Yeah.
So.
But you showed Sue that you have that saw too that cuts through. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a 14-inch slab saw that I can take the bigger pieces, and it has a table that you fix the rock down to, and it has a feed that feeds the rock through the saw at a very slow speed, and it's lubricated with mineral oil, and you can make slabs up to a 1/16 of an inch thick.
Right. I mean, some of the pieces you have in your windows are translucent. You can see right through.
Yeah, those are actually from Vermont. They're a serpentine variety.
Yeah, he calls them bacon rocks.
Yeah, those are cool too. Yeah,
because they look like they do look like bacon.
They really do.
They don't look like bacon when they're here, but when you put them up here, they definitely do.
That was one of my first best. That was my best find. I actually took home a blue ribbon from the Keene Mineral Club because they have different categories and submit samples or specimens, and I got the blue ribbon for that.
Oh, great!
Yeah.
And you found that obviously you found that locally then.
Yeah.
Because
Southern Vermont.
Yeah, interesting. Because it looks really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have one with me, but it looked really interesting. And then we've talked about the Keene Mineral Club a couple times. You've mentioned them. You can join, like anyone can join, right?
Anyone can join. Yeah, they have memberships for, I believe it's $14 for a year for a whole family, and we meet once a month. This last Saturday, they scheduled all the field trips that they'll be going on this summer. Usually starting when the weather improves, usually around April or May, and right straight through till November, or until the ground freezes and you no longer can dig.
And most of their things are local. I mean, in the sort of the New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Maine area, or
Most of our field trips are local. Once in a while, we'll schedule a trip to Poland, Maine at the Havey Quarry. And that's usually an overnight trip. And sometimes we've gone out to New York to a Herkimer diamond mine.
Wow.
And those are overnighters too. But generally they're, northern Massachusetts. We do some gold panning in Plymouth, Vermont once in a while. And,
Oh, really?
Yeah. And a lot of the fluorite and mines, the Weiss mine, the Beauregard mine, which are usually closed. You can't have access to it unless you're part of a club. So that's one of the benefits to joining a club, is you can actually go and collect at some of these sites that are shut down.
So if you were just, Joe Public who just wanted to do something, and with COVID and all these things, would they welcome people like that to come along?
Oh, absolutely. They're always looking for new members. They're really good. Yeah.
Yeah, because that panning for gold would be something I've always thought about doing, but never. And you can do it in Vermont, huh?
Yeah. Right in the Saxons River, there's gold in the Saxons River.
Oh, really?
There is.
Now that's interesting. I have to go, Marty.
No, careful, you might create a monster.
That's okay. I'm a monster when it comes to rocks.
Yeah, and if your shop is down beyond, just a little bit beyond Kern Hatton.
Correct.
If people know where that is, on I can't remember the name of the road.
Pine Banks Road.
Pine Banks Road, which is off of
Piggery Road.
Piggery Road.
Yeah.
And really nice little shop, and it's neat to go down and see Fred and talk with him. And it's safe, socially distant, all the things that you might want to be worried about. You can alleviate your worries. He wears a mask. And then I guess if you're maybe because we were really nice, he let us see his shop and how he did the tumbling and stuff. But yeah, it's great.
Yeah, thanks.
And then just as a little more information, if my daughter's watching, she shouldn't look at these. But we ended up buying some I don't know if anyone can see, but we ended up buying these set stones, and there it is. And they come out really nice. Sue put the necklace part on, but the stone and the setting was done by Fred, and that's one. And then we had a second one here. And tell us, there's some things about these rocks, right? That they're Sue was telling me that they have either special healing powers, or there's stories connected to the actual rocks.
There is. I'm still have a lot to learn when it comes to rocks and geology and the metaphysical aspect of them, but there are a lot of healing properties that, especially in times like these days with all the negativity in the world, that people are looking for something positive and to get some energy from. But the labradite, that's what the shiny blue and green was, is from Madagascar, and so isn't the blue apatite, or apatite, I guess it's called. But I know there's a few people out there that are really up on the metaphysical healing aspect of these, and there's so much to learn. I'm just touching the surface.
But I was just, I guess, we're not asking you to put your reputation on the line, but but there are things. And there was another thing that, because I was asking about it while you were there. Is it selenite or?
Yeah, there's selenite rough. They're big chunks of log that are from, I believe, Brazil, but don't quote me on that. Okay. And there's tea light holders and massage wands that people, they say you can charge your crystals and minerals with the selenite.
With selenite, because you actually sell that by the pound, right? Or
correct.
And it was a interesting thing, because some of the things were shaped and formed, but others it was rough.
Just
crystal.
Raw material, straight from the ground.
Yeah, really amazing too, because it was like something out of Lord of the Rings or something, like this magic crystal idea. That's pretty cool. Marty?
Yeah, so I actually have a couple questions. So when you are searching like locally for rocks, how do you know what to look for? Is that what you learned through the Mineral Club, or is it just luck, or what?
Well, some of the places that I've collected is along a river, so you just kind of walk the riverbank, and just it's hours of walking and looking and going real slow, and sometimes you you see, after you've done it a while, you have an idea what you're looking for, a certain type of material that is associated with what you're looking for. It's hard to describe, and there's a lot I don't know, but it's almost like training your eye. If you're looking for a particular, if you're looking for poison ivy, you're on the lookout for three-leaf plants, right? So it's the same goes with the rock hounding. And you're just constantly panning and looking around. When we go to a mine, like a pegmatite mine over at Kirk 2 or in Beauregard, or Barrow Mountain, the government came in and bought all the barrel of the big crystals, and all the small stuff is cast
like
aside in the dump.
Yeah.
And it's in big chunks, and you just take your sledgehammer out and
oh, really?
Yeah, and
Just
sometimes you
whack
open
up
it up
and
and there's
chuck it.
nice barrel crystals inside.
Yeah.
So you just don't know. Some of it's luck, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure a lot of
being in the
it
right
is
place
luck.
at the right time.
Yeah. It's sort of like and you and Sue were talking when we were visiting that she was from Oklahoma and they have geodes there.
Right.
And when you look at them on the outside, it looks like an old dirt tennis ball or something.
Yeah.
And then you whack it with a hammer, and there's like these beautiful crystals inside.
It's amazing. It really
Yeah.
is. And the same goes with crystal quartz crystals or amethysts. I do a lot of YouTube watching, and there's different mines, and it's actually in this reddish clay, and you can't even tell that there's a crystal there or that it's purple until you actually.
Oh, really?
So you kind of got to know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Put the water on it, rinse it off, and it's like,
And there it is. It
there it
reveals
is,
itself.
right, yeah.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. We have about 3 minutes left.
Oh, good.
So it's almost over. You've made it this far. You actually have been great. You're going to have to come back because I'd like to do another show on blacksmithing because I think that would be interesting too.
That'd be great.
But anyway, we have about 3 minutes left.
Okay.
And can you, give your Fred Rocks sort of information like?
Okay. All right. I'm located at 1993 Pine Banks Road. Actually in Westminster, but if you're using GPS, you need to put in Putney. I'm open on Saturdays, every Saturday from 10 to 4, and by appointment. So if Saturdays don't work for you, you can message me. You can set up an appointment. I can be found on Facebook under Fred Rocks Rock Shop, Instagram, and I'm also searchable on Google.
Oh, okay.
For directions and other information.
Do you want to give a phone number or?
I'll give out my phone number.
Or you don't have to. I mean,
I'll give out my phone number.
all the women will be calling.
802-376-7313, and I also text.
Oh, great. Yeah. Good. So that's it. Marty, anything? Have we missed anything? Or?
No, I don't think so. I'm very excited. I'm one of the ones that believes in the powers of crystals, and I'm excited that there's a place locally to get them, and to support local business is like my mantra.
Okay.
Awesome.
100%.
And again, River Artisans Cooperative, right in Bellows Falls, right next to the bookshop. Fred has rocks there. Fred has blacksmithing things. There's all sorts of other art. So check them out. And we're actually going to have, I think in 2 weeks, we're going to have another artisan on who does drawings. So. So, Fred, thank you again for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And that's it for the feed. We'll see you next week. It's Mike and Marty and Fred. Bye.